Hello and welcome back to County Cricket Weekly. We're here for episode 1 and I'm joined by Aatif Nawaz. Aatif, how you doing?
I'm very, very well. How about yourself?
I'm good and I really enjoyed this first week being back. It felt really nice to just have cricket back in England. Like, I've been waiting so long for it to happen and it's finally here, and it feels like there was a good buzz around. Even with rain, there was a good buzz around.
There was so much excitement for it. I sort of worry a little bit sometimes about like the amount of cricket that's being played and will people's enthusiasm still be there. But it was there. There was like a palpable excitement, about the county championship. Loads of people on social media talking about it. Just friends texting me like various things throughout the games and stuff. So yeah, even with the rain, it was really the hype was there and it was really exciting.
Now, did anything catch your eye in particular from this first round?
Yeah, I mean, loads of things caught my eye. I thought, there were some incredible individual performances. I think right at the top is Sam Northeast, right? Like, that's phenomenal. He's already got massive hundreds to his name, and just adding another iconic one, breaking a record at Lords. It's just a sort of fairy tale start to the season, and one that gets sort of eyeballs on the championship as well. So I really love when things like that happen. There were so many great performances. I'm sure we'll go through them in detail, but off the top of my head, I was really, really happy to see Kashif Ali do well, coming through the South Asian Cricket Academy. Saka, they've been working really hard, and he's like their major, their major graduate. And for him to come through, hit 200s, two very impressive hundreds against a really strong Warwickshire bowling attack, that was really, really cool. So, that's the tip of the iceberg. Let's get into it. There was so much cool stuff.
For sure. I think there's, like you say, there's so many things that caught our eye in terms of the actual cricketing abilities of people and scores and what's going on. But another thing that caught my eye was new camera, like angles and the different equipment that was being used. And we see this umpire POV camera that looked incredible. Yeah. And I know they used it last year, but for fans to be able to see it this year, to actually it being broadcast out there was incredible. I think it was Sam Cook, a couple of his deliveries caught on that. The umpire POV camera just looked insane. So I think overall, I was really impressed with the broadcasting and the way that this first week was kind of put out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of innovation that can travel throughout cricket as well. So it's really cool. People don't necessarily associate county championship with innovation, but like this was massively innovative, and it's something that can easily go on to everything else. I'm looking forward to that compilation at the end of the season of umpires just trying to dodge shots coming in their direct, especially because everybody plays so aggressively now. The ball coming towards the umpires and umpires just sort of ducking and weaving, and that's good. That's going to make a great social media video at the end of the season.
So talking of more innovation, the Kookaburra ball has been experimented for the first 2 rounds of this competition. And what does that mean?
It's different from the Duke's ball that they would normally use, right? I mean, England, as a sort of cricketing setup, the ECB, they want to make sure their players have that familiarity with the ball and what that ball does in these conditions, because the next Ashes series that's going to be played is going to be in Australia, and they want to be completely prepared. I think it makes sense, and just in terms of the players might enjoy playing with it more. I don't think there were any sort of strong reviews, negative or positive, last season when they did it for a couple of weeks, but I think the players, it's nice for them to have that experience and then feed that back to the boards and say, like, we like it, we dislike it. Let's give Kookaburra a chance. Yeah. Let's get all the brands in. Why not? Let's get them all. Let's do one each match with a completely different brand. That's my.
I would actually love to see how much of a difference that would make. It'd be so interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to happen. But at the same time, it's just that variation is very good. Like, I like the idea that they're thinking ahead. They're directly connecting sort of the county championship with the way the English Test team is strategizing. So excellent idea, and that ball worked out for a couple of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, now it's time to go through Division 1 and get you up to date with all the scores, just in case you missed anything.
Reigning champion Surrey headed to Emirates Old Trafford to begin their campaign against Lancashire. The weather got the better of the game with only 81 overs of play possible. There was enough time, however, for England hopeful Josh Bohannon to impress with 84 runs in Lancashire's total of 202 all out. Remarkably, 9 of the 10 wickets to fall were taken by spin, with Cameron Steele picking up 5 and Surrey debutant Dan Lawrence taking 4. Unusually high winds prevented the covers from being removed after lunch on day 3 on health and safety grounds, despite the skies being clear. The rain soon followed, and the game fizzled out into a draw after no play was possible on the final day. Saka graduate Kashif Ali was the star of the show in this early season West Midlands derby from Edgbaston. Ali compiled his maiden first-class 100 to steer Worcestershire to 360 all-out and 3 batting bonus points. A full complement of bowling points were collected by Warwickshire after an unplayable delivery from the evergreen Chris Rushworth. In reply, ex-Worcestershire all-rounder Ed Barnard frustrated his former employer with a well-made 89, supported by half-centuries from Will Rhodes and Dan Mosley. The hosts, however, were bowled out 27 runs short of Worcestershire's first innings score. Looking to make early third innings inroads, Warwickshire's attack was once again blunted by a second century of the match for Kashif Ali. The number 3 showed off his full range of shots, smashing 133 off just 128 deliveries, including 5 big sixes. Jake Libby also got 100, and this match also ended in a draw. The first win of the season came from Trent Bridge, where Essex finished strongly to beat Nottinghamshire by 254 runs. Twin 80s from New Essex recruits Dean Elgar and Jordan Cox helped lift the away side to 253 in the first innings amidst some quality bowling from Dane Patterson and an absolute jaffer from Calvin Harrison, who says it doesn't spin in April. In reply, Nottinghamshire's Joe Clark struck a classy 104, ably supported by 77 from debutant Jack Haynes, before a hat-trick from Sam Cook pegged back the host to just a 40-run lead when they looked destined for something far greater. A third innings, 6th-wicket partnership of 132 between Paul Walter and Matt Critchley lifted Essex from a spot to bother at 129 for 5 to set Nottinghamshire an intriguing target of 335 to win. Jamie Porter bowled England opener Ben Duckett with a peach 17 balls into the innings, and from that moment the Nottinghamshire chase never got out of first gear. Wickets continued to fall at all too regular intervals for the hosts before they were bowled out for just 80 in 34.3 overs. 6 wickets for Sam Cook and 3 for Porter, doing the damage. A mighty impressive fight back from Essex after conceding a first innings deficit. Could they be the team to beat this summer? No play was possible on day 1 of Kent versus Somerset due to a wet outfield. The weather relented from day 2, allowing newly appointed Somerset captain Lewis Gregory to help his side to the better of the early action, taking 4 wickets and removing Kent's top 3 in the space of 3 overs. A rearguard partnership from Harry Finch and Joey Everson helped the Kent total past 200 before Gregory returned to remove Everson for 85 and end their first innings on 284. Somerset's batters set about chasing down a first innings lead with some high-quality stroke making. Tom Lammonby stood out for the visitors in a fine array of cover and straight drives in his total of 90. Exciting prospect James Rue picked up where he left off last year, making 57, including one of the most gorgeous straight drives you'll ever see. A first innings lead of 119 allowed Somerset to apply some early third innings pressure on Kent, dismissing both openers, Ben Compton and Tawanda Muyeye, for single figures. But centuries from the experienced duo of Daniel Bell-Drummond and Joe Denley safely guided their side to a share of the spoils on day 4. Hampshire made a long trip north to face newly promoted Durham, only to watch the rain fall, with the match being abandoned without a ball being bowled. Both sides will be hoping for better luck in the next round of matches.
Thank you for that, Aatif. Feel up to date now. And yeah, great to see the first and only win of the season from Essex against Notts. Good performances all round. Sam Cook looked incredibly impressive.
He did. I mean, he had a great season last year as well. Great return. I think 49 wickets, something along those 49 wickets. I forget the average, but obviously he take 49 wickets in a season. It's probably going to be an impressive average. Yeah. He's really knocking on that door for England as well, Sam. I think he's got to be in discussions.
He can't be far away.
They've got to be talking about him. If they've got a whiteboard that they have in their selection, he's on the whiteboard somewhere. And I think he's moved up from the corner. I feel like he's got a more prominent place in the whiteboard. There's a couple of those deliveries were absolutely stunning, and historically fast bowlers don't always love the Kookaburra ball in England. But I bet he does.
Yeah,
I bet he loves it.
Yeah, and then Elgar and Cox as well, 2 new signings for Essex. Both look quality. Elgar played some beautiful shots, and I think he's an incredible signing for Essex.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a lot of they're coming in with a sort of a hole in that lineup as well, with Dan Lawrence going off to Surrey. Yeah. So they're both between them doing a fantastic job filling it already. I mean, it's the perfect start. Perfect start for Essex. Better than everybody else.
Absolutely. Now, talk to me about Kashif Ali. Back-to-back hundreds coming out of the South Asian Cricket Academy, which I know have produced lots of recent pro contracts. But how impressive was Kashif for you?
It was brilliant. It was his maiden 100. It looked like it was his 12th 100 or 15th 100. He just looked so fluent and so comfortable and sort of unfazed by the occasion. And again, he did it again in the second innings as well, which is... you really know you're onto a big player, potentially a really, really big player. And I was really happy for Saka, just because there's quite a few organisations that focus on, representation and making sure that players have a pathway, players from communities that maybe don't always have that access. You sometimes wonder about how much value these organizations are really adding, but like now there is a tangible symbol, like a test case, a proven test case that it works, and Kashif is there, and I was very, very happy for him. I saw that his Twitter following got a little bump as well, so nice. Well done. I was very happy. It's a really great initiative, and it's a really great performance from the lead graduate.
And certainly one to watch for the future. This is, like you say, it felt like he'd played this however many innings and scored so many hundreds, but because of the way he batted. But yeah, one to watch for the future. Right, next up, Old Trafford. Bizarre scenes with no rain, cover still on, and health and safety of the ground staff meant they couldn't be taken off. How many more things are we going to see, like ways that cricket can be stopped? It's remarkable.
There's been some bizarre ones. I mean, Jake was mentioning earlier about an arrow being shot into the oval at one step, which I don't remember, but it's an extraordinary thing from a crossbow. Like, who's that influenced by Game of Thrones and into cricket? I don't get it. But yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, so the reason they didn't allow the ground staff to come on to take the covers off is because it was windy.
Yeah.
And they were worried that like the ground staff would hold on to the edge of the covers and the wind would just blow them away with the covers. Like, I'm just saying, like, obviously, stay safe and everything with the wind and stuff. And I don't mean to make light of it, but I mean, imagine how many views they would have got on TikTok.
That would have been like mega viral.
They've missed a trick there at Old Trafford, like, just flying away from the stadium. That would have been, that would have been cool.
Well, some brilliant cricket and some, like we say, some bizarre moments from Division 1. Let's take a look at the scores from Division 2.
A staggering 1,200 runs were scored in just over 2 innings of this clash between Middlesex and Glamorgan at the home of cricket. The home side started brightly with Ethan Bamber removing Zainul Hassan for the first wicket of the county championship season. However, it was about as good as it got for the bowlers in this game. Enter Sam Northeast. The Glamorgan captain punched his first boundary through the covers with aplomb. After being dropped on 11, a further 41 boundaries followed in Northeast's marathon 335 not out of 412 deliveries, the highest individual score in a first-class game at Lord's, beating the record of Graham Gooch's famous 333 and the earliest triple century in county history. That's a lot of records. Not to be overshadowed, Colin Ingram struck a big 100 of his own, combining with Northeast for a 4th wicket partnership of 299. The South African finished on 132 not out, and the Glamorgan innings was declared on 620 for 3. Moving into the second innings, and Bat continued to dominate the ball, Middlesex opener Mark Stoneman was at his fluent best, channeling some of the form that saw him elevated to the top of the England Test match lineup back in 2017. Stoneman eventually fell agonisingly 3 runs short of a century, bringing Ryan Higgins to the crease. The combative all-rounder got straight to work with a series of crunching cover drives. The strokes continued to flow, bringing up his maiden first-class double century and a comfortable draw for the hosts. Arguably, the game of the round came at the First Central County ground. After an early delay, Northamptonshire was sent into bat by the hosts Sussex. A bright start from Sussex overseas recruit Jayden Seals saw Northants restricted to 66 for 2. Northamptonshire captain Luke Proctor held firm to make 92 with half-centuries from Curran Nair and Lewis McManus, taking the visitors to 371 first innings runs, Seals finishing with 4 for 86. Sussex's new regular opening partnership of Tom Clark and Tom Haynes made a great start to life with our previous opener Ali Orr, who switched Hove for Southampton this winter. The hosts then briefly wobbled, losing 3 quick wickets to find themselves 94 for 3 before James Coles joined Haynes in the middle. Some classy stroke play saw the pair take Sussex to 231. Haynes finally fell for 133, a welcome return to form for the Horsham-born opener. Some lower middle order hitting from Sussex took the total past 450 and maximum batting points, declaring on 478 for 9 and in search of 10 Northamptonshire wickets. 10 balls into the third innings and Sussex had their first wicket. Wickets continued to tumble with only Proctor and Keogh showing any resistance. Sussex's bowlers continued to apply pressure on the visitors, but with the light fading, Northamptonshire eventually clung on for the draw at 170 for 9. A gripping finish to the game which Sussex will feel like they could have won. Harry Brook announced his return to cricket with a bang, smashing 16 boundaries in a 69-ball 100 not out. Brookside welcomed fellow promotion hopefuls Leicestershire to Headingley, hoping that 2024 will be the year they return to Division 1 of the County Championship. After an initial delay, Aussie import Marcus Harris made a bright start to the Foxes' innings before he was removed by George Hill for 56 with the score at 110 for 3. Wickets continued to fall at a steady pace, leaving Leicestershire precariously placed at 177 for 7. It was Ben Mike that managed to rescue the visitors' innings with a swashbuckling 90, dragging his side to 354 in his first championship game back for Leicestershire. After one shot too many, Mike was removed by Matt Milnes. Milnes finished with figures of 4 for 73. Mike then returned to action with the ball, dismissing Finn Beam and Shan Masood in back-to-back overs to make an immediate impact. Any Leicestershire hopes of running through the Yorkshire lineup were quickly dashed, with no play possible on day 3 and scintillating day 400s from Brooke and the experienced Adam Lythe. The pair combined for 31 fours and 4 sixes, including 2 huge leg side blows from Brooke, allowing Yorkshire the opportunity to declare early and search for a result. Further rain delays curtailed the game to an early draw, with the visitors 26 for no loss in their second innings. 13 points to Leicestershire and 12 to Yorkshire. It was a sodden scene at Derby, with all 4 days being lost to weather without a ball being bowled. The video from Derbyshire photographer David Griffin says it all, really.
For the furtherance of doubt, anyone who thinks that the outfield at Derby might have been playable, this is a ground stuff look, digging the boots into the ground. This not a chance that professional cricketers or even cricketers of any level could have hoped to play out here. I'll see you in Cardiff later in the week. Thanks, chaps.
So, despite the weather, still some incredible performances across the country. Sadly, that video there from the Derbyshire photographer looked soaking.
I mean, it looks fine. I don't know what they can play. I would play in that. Yeah. Absolutely. No, of course. Like they gotta protect their pitches, and like you got to think about player safety and things like that. But it's nice when these guys have a sense of humour about
Absolutely.
it. I like that. It's fun.
Yeah. Talking of pitches, I think Middlesex can be awarded the prettiest pitch of the tournament. Of the round, sorry. When I saw the stream, it was the first one that was played, one of the only 2 games that started on time. It looked great. It looked really nice. And clearly was nice for batting as well. So Sam North East record-breaking 335 not out. A couple of stats. That is the highest first-class score at Lords, beating Gooch's 333, and it's the earliest triple century in county championship cricket. Justin Langer and James Hildreth are the only other players to have scored 300s in April.
That's extraordinary. Yeah. I mean, it must be terrifying for any opposition team when Sam North East gets to 100, because you just know it's going to be massive. Yeah. It's not going to end well. Like they're not going to get him. He's not going to get out for 101 or 102. He's going to get 2, 3, 4. Like, it was incredible. And, like, a part of me was kind of disappointed that they declared when they declared, because, like, I wanted to see how far. I know he's got a 400 to his name already. Let's go for a 5.
Let's just keep going, yeah.
Just keep 5. I mean, it was a great batting pitch, so who's to say how many he would have got? But it was just extraordinary. And like, this thing about. There's also this, like, mythical thing about reaching 1,000 runs before the end of May in the county championship. No university games included in this, by the way. He's got a very good shot. I mean, the names that have done this, you're looking at people like Don Bradman, W.G. Grace, Wally Hammond, Graham Hick has done it as well. Like, there's a lot of, like, I feel like there's a prestige to it and like a mini target there for him to go to, and he's still got 6 more games before the end of May to do it as well.
It's got off to the perfect start.
So I'm just saying the last person to do it was roughly 35 years ago. That was when. I think 1988, the last time it happened. So, good luck, mate. I'm with you, Mr. Northeast. Do it. Bring it home.
Do you think he's one of the best batters to never have played for England?
He's definitely in that list. I mean, this is one of the beautiful things about county cricket folklore. There's so many players like that who just achieved incredible things in county cricket and never got over the line. And you kind of wanted them to have like if they ever did like a special appearance type thing. Like I remember Martin Bicknell, who eventually did play for England, but he played all those years for Surrey, taking tons and tons of wickets. There's so many examples like that. But yeah, they just become legends of that county game. But it sort of adds to the aura of county cricket, having these legendary players. So yeah, it's a phenomenal start to the season. I'm sure his bat's knocked in. That much you can tell. That much for sure.
And it kind of puts a bit of a shadow over Ryan Higgins' double 100 as well. Like, he's just kind of been forgotten, but it's impressive to score that as well.
I'm sure Higgins will take that. Like, what a great start for him as well. I mean, he's such an underrated player as well, and such a well-liked player in that Middlesex team. And you're absolutely right. Most times you're getting a double hundred. The headlines are all about you, but someone on the other team just scored 335 not out. So what are you gonna do? But I'm really pleased to see Higgins in form, and he's one I'm probably gonna draft into my fantasy team. I'm pretty sure this week.
Awesome. So heading over to Sussex, it looked like a brilliant game, a proper battle against the Northamptonshire sides. Tom Payne's back in form, 133. He only managed 600 runs last year after a Lions call up the season beforehand, so it's nice to see him back in form, and I'm backing him this season for sure.
Yeah, I noticed he's been very popular on the cricket draft thing, right?
Yes.
Everybody's got him in their team, except for me, because I like to pick people who are definitely not going to be playing. But it was great to see him playing well, and again, it's just that sort of, he's got a different kind of arc. Some players have this breakthrough arc this season. He's got a sort of mini redemption arc going on after that season last year, which, as you said, was difficult. Quality player, got all the shots. Just really good to see people like that flourishing. So, I think that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Jaden Seals as well, impressive on debut with 6 wickets, and a very strong opening partnership with Ollie Robinson. I feel like that's a really, really nice bowling attack.
It is.
And talking of other players that are standing out, James Coles, really impressive. 68 runs, 6 wickets and 4 catches, and he kind of helped Sussex get back into the game. A really exciting young prospect, and hopefully proof that Sussex's youth project might be getting there and starting to work.
It's nearly there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's not unlike sort of Arsenal in the Premier League. It's been that sort of investment in youth and like long-term planning. So they've really tested the patience of their fans, but they're getting there for sure. Like, and the team that they've sort of put together, it feels very, again, I'm drawing that comparison to Arsenal again, but it feels very team-esque.
Yeah.
Built around any individual players or things like that. Even the players that you do have are very sort of all-roundery, like, having a player that can get you 6 wickets, get you 68 runs, take catches, keep the energy up, invaluable. So, there's all signs are very positive for Sussex.
Yeah. However, great things on the pitch, but also a very, very Village moment. I don't know if you saw this. Henry Crocombe fetching the ball off the roof at Hove, and I got a screenshot of my group chat, just like counter cricket is back, and it just epitomised round one. And I love it. And also for club cricketers to see that, it's like, okay, even in the professional game, you still have to do those things. You still have to go and fetch the ball from wherever. So I did enjoy that.
That was really cool. It reminded me of like the pandemic. I don't know if you remember, but like in the pandemic, there was no crowds, right? And the other people weren't allowed to touch the ball. Yes. So the players had to go into the seats and the stands themselves to come and get the ball and throw it back. And it was a bit of a reminder of that. But I do enjoy that. It feels like it's a leveler all of a sudden.
Definitely.
It just feels like it's cricket. It's the same cricket that we all play.
I also feel like he'd done that before, because he was very confident. He was like, "Yeah, it's all right, I'll do it." He's definitely had a ball stuck up there before.
I feel like he's done some roofing or some roofing work at some stage in his life.
Some fantastic performances across the board, Division 1, Division 2. Now it's time to pick our players of the round. We're going to pick 3 players and award them 3, 2 and 1 point. So by the end of the season, we'll have kind of our best list of players.
Awesome.
So I'm going to put forward Northeast.
Shock. Horror.
Got to be done.
You surprise me. Sam Northeast. Yeah, no, fair enough. Like, what are you going to do?
You can't really have anyone else there at number 3 spot. A number 2 spot?
Well, there's a few contenders. I mean, you could probably think about Ryan Higgins there. You could think about Sam Cook.
I think let's go Cook.
Hat trick. There's Kashif Ali as well.
Yeah.
The 200s. There's loads of really good performances that we could choose from. 69 ball 100 from Harry Brook as well. Right, that's worth thinking. That's faster than the century that Kohli got in the IPL this weekend.
That's wild.
Just saying. Just don't at me. My name is Toby Marriott. So I think you're right. I think Sam Cook and Kashif. Where are you going? Who's going where?
I think we go. Kashif on debut is amazing to get that. So let's definitely get him in there. Maybe with 1, and then Sam Cook at 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Then,
1 point for Kashif, 2 for Sam, and 3 for. If your name is Sam, you've done well this weekend, Mr. Northeast.
Love it. Okay, and finally, have you got your phone on you?
I do.
Let's take a look at our cricket draft teams.
No. This is your fault, by the way, what happened to me. Because you said to me, as I was setting up my team, who's a really good buy? Josh DeCare. Because, he's quite cheap, he's good value, he'd probably play, he's from your team, Middlesex. So you really sold it to me. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's not bad. Not bad. I looked at my standings after day 1. He had minus 25.
I'm sorry.
Because he was part of that team that got pummeled. by Sam Northeast.
I still have him in my team as well.
You're gonna
so
keep him?
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping
the second
him.
week.
I think so. Just the value, it's brilliant.
I've got to have a little think about this, but maybe for sure. Where did you end up?
So I ended up on 1,464 points with a ranking of 783.
I don't want to tell you mine. Like, it's just not. It's just like I've taken a hammering. Okay,
I got lucky, captained Harry Brook, so that helped a lot.
Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my players didn't start.
Oh, no.
Right, so 5 of them. I've gone quite heavy on Durham and Leicestershire, neither of whom played, so they weren't there. And then I picked a couple of players who didn't feature for Warwickshire or Middlesex. Yeah, I had Harry Brook, which is good. That worked out for me a little bit. I got 901 points, which makes me I'm in the prestigious position of 3,540th in the cricket draft. But I'm not even making that up.
There's plenty of time to come back. There's plenty of time.
I don't know if there is. Is there any coming back from this? I don't think there is. I think I'm finished. I'm dead and buried. I need some help. I wonder if there's any professional coaches out there that can help me put my team together.
We need to see who's number one, reach out to them and say, right, just have a look at their team, give us
Yeah.
some tips. I wonder if anyone had Sam. I don't know what percentage of people had Northeast in their
Somebody,
side.
I'm sure somebody did. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you captained him oh my God. This is the game, isn't it? You got to captain the person you think is going to get a massive
Absolutely.
100. But shout out to Ben Mike, who kind of saved my team. I've always liked Ben Mike, really good player, just a really good value player, and he got me a few points, which is nice. And yeah, there's a lot on my bench that didn't get picked out, but
Well, there is time.
Yeah.
There is time.
I
I
don't know,
believe
let's
in
see.
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my next tips off Jake.
Okay, time to look at the tables from the first round of the County Championship. In Division 1, Essex leading the way with the only win of the round, and Sussex leading the way in Division 2.
Yeah, 18 teams played this round, and only one team won.
Mental, isn't it? The beauty of the County Championship, always giving us surprises.
That's why we love it.
Hopefully next week, less rain, fingers crossed, but still an impressive amount of cricket played despite the weather. So thank you so much for joining me this week.
My pleasure.
Been really enjoying going through all the results and the scores and the best performances, and we'll see you next week.